Alright guys, how's it going? So, another video. I'm here in school at the moment, getting some work done, but obviously filming YouTube is part of the work that I have to do, right? So, recently there's been a lot of changes in my entrepreneurial journey, and I've transitioned into a very different workspace that honestly is going to change the entire trajectory of my entrepreneurial journey. And I may have talked about this in my previous videos, but in this video I really want to touch on why I made this decision and what I foresee by making this decision and what I expect, what I'm working on, and what outcome I'm working towards by making this decision, right? So as you can probably tell from the title of this video, I recently closed down my social media marketing agency, which wasn't really a social media marketing agency. It was more of an AI automation agency, but I guess like social media, people just give names to different business models and make it seem like totally different, but it's really not, right? What was I doing? The thing that I was working on within this agency was I was running paid ads on Meta, so Instagram and Facebook, for medical clinics and for specifically PMU clinics in the United States. So what I would do is I would cold call these clinics. I would do like 150 cold calls per day to these clinics to try and pitch them my services. And I've been working on this agency for the past 8 months, right? And before this agency that I just closed down, I actually had another agency which focused on the front end of business, right? So one thing that I had learned that's super important is that within business you have a structure, right? So you have the foundation, so this is your offer, the concept of the business, like who you actually help. It's just your offer, right? And then it's having obviously the attention, so it's getting traffic in. After that, it's lead generation, conversion, sales, and delivery, and then retention. So it just goes on and on and on, right? So what we would do in that first agency that I started, which was a content agency, we focused on the front end, right? We focused on traffic, we focused on creating content. And I had about a year experience with that. Really didn't go anywhere far. It got me something, but it really didn't go anywhere near to where I wanted it to go, right? And honestly, it was the same thing with this agency that I just recently closed down. I transitioned from working on traffic specifically to then working on the back end specifically, and then just buying the traffic. So that's really where paid ads came in, is we didn't have to focus that much on actually, getting, obviously, of course, with ads, you're gonna have to optimize the creatives, you're gonna optimize the copy to make sure that you get the best traffic in. But really the main focus, the reason why I said it was an AI automation agency is because we really focus on the back end, and we focus on instilling AI into the back end system to convert the leads that were coming in via the traffic of paid ads, right? And so I had ran the content agency for about a year, closed it down, started a second agency. I actually kept the same name. I don't know why. I just love the name. The first agency that I started was called VisionX. The second agency that I started was called VisionX, but whatever. And so essentially, I'm just going to close this laptop because the light's not doing great. Essentially, having started that second agency, I got so much experience from it. But I was solely relying on cold calls. I was doing 150 cold calls a day, every single night. And yet, throughout these 8 months of running this agency, I had only managed to close 3 clients, which really sucked, I was putting in all this work, really for it to not work as much. And I had realized I had a lot of moments of reflection with myself as I was running this agency, and I was really thinking long term with this business model that I was running, right? Because obviously, as an entrepreneur, the most important thing that you're going to want to do is to actually have a long-term vision of where you want to take this business into, right? And the end goal for me, apart from obviously running business, the absolute end goal that I wanted was to be able to eventually coach people, right? To coach them on how to start making money online, how to actually build an online business. And that was really the end goal. And my original plan was to be able to succeed with this agency, was to be able to get insane results at a very young age and be able to coach others on it. So transitioning from actually having an agency into an online coaching business. And, I had told myself, I had a lot of people telling me, and I had also told myself, well, why don't I just start my personal brand now? Because obviously when you want to have an online coaching business, you need to have a personal brand to actually get traffic, to actually make an impact, to actually get your clients in. And why would I delay creating my personal brand if I could just do it now? Right? If I could just, number one, document my journey not only on YouTube, but on Instagram. Right? These are really the two main platforms that I use to work on my personal brand. I use Instagram mainly at the moment to, work on my business and to actually have an online coaching business. But YouTube at the moment, I'm really trying to keep it for now as a platform for me to document my journey, and of course later transitioned into a platform where I can truly educate people in long form content, right? But we'll get into that later. And yeah, really, like, the end goal for me was to be able to coach people online, and I told myself, you know what, I'm just gonna get into personal branding now. And from these 2 years, almost 2 years of experience that I had with both of these agencies, learning content and learning the back end of content, so how to generate leads, how to nurture them, how to actually convert them, I applied all of that into my personal brand. And it really started off with me just, creating content about business, about my passion, but people started to like that. And eventually I started talking specifically about content because I had already known what content was about. I already had a skill that I learned throughout all these years. Throughout the first year that I started my first agency. And I was just giving out this kind of value, which got a lot of attention. And I had not only given out value about content, but I had applied all the strategies that I personally learned in terms of how to create effective content. And it blew up. It was insane. I managed to grow my following from a few hundred followers to 40,000 followers now in the span of 3 months, which is incredible results, really, if you ask me. If you're starting from a few hundred followers, growing that to 40,000 followers is a skill, is something that you can genuinely help people with. And now that I'm in this position where I have this audience and I have these people engaging with my content, it also means that there's leads there, there is potential there, there are clients who are waiting to learn from me. And essentially after that, I started my online coaching business, because I'm gonna wait? Like, why would I wait when I have the leads there, when I have the people there who are they're showing me that they like my content, they're showing me that they actually want to engage with me. So why would I wait? All right, so that's why I started my online coaching business. And in the first 7 days of starting my online coaching business, I had signed 5 clients in 1 week. And after that, I told myself, what is the point of continuing this agency? If I had made more, if I had signed more clients, and if I had made more in the first 7 days of launching my offer than I did in the past 8 months of working on this agency. That was the logical decision that led me to actually pursue online coaching full time, to skip the step of trying to start 2 businesses and to actually focus on online coaching. Focus on not only getting results for my clients, but getting my clients to get their clients' results, right? And so there are a lot of things that I had noticed, and I understood why this agency hadn't worked. And, it wasn't just a decision with the logical upfront view that online coaching was working a lot better than my agency did, but it was also the fact that I had understood I was cold calling businesses and just trying to pitch them, right? Obviously, I had a good script. I actually did have a good script. But at the end of the day, I had also realized it's not even what I want to do. The end goal for me was never to have an agency, but it was to actually coach people. It was to change lives. It was to impact people's lives. It was never to be able to become super successful with an agency, but it was being able to become a successful coach by changing other people's lives. Right? And I had also understood that the reason why I managed to close so many clients, well, not so many, but 5 clients. The reason why I had managed to close 5 clients in 7 days is because they were warm leads. They knew what I was doing. They knew the kind of work that I was doing, and they showed interest in it, which gets them so much closer to being able to actually convert and buy your product than it is to cold call a business and tell them, hey, listen, hop on a call with me and we'll talk about this. They don't know you. They don't actually even, like, they may not need your services. You don't actually even know they need your service, right? You're really just spamming the phone, which I guess somewhat works, but there's so many better strategies to use and tools and assets to use in order to actually grow your business, right? And I don't think the agency model is bad at all, but I think the one thing I was missing was my personal brand, right? You could 100% start an agency with your personal brand. That works as well. In fact, the only difference between online coaching and an agency is that an agency is done for you. And the agency that I was running specifically, the traffic that I was using for client acquisition was cold calling. But if I had a personal brand and if I had focused on building my personal brand, I probably would have closed a hell of a lot more clients, right? And really, that's what I had understood. I understood that the problem was not my agency, but it was the fact that I was missing my personal brand. And now that I've actually managed to build my personal brand, the only thing to instill is the backend system of it, the conversion system of it. Really, once you have a personal brand, not only do you have a client acquisition system of people just coming in, but it's unbreakable. You have your audience there. As long as you have access to your phone and Instagram account, you're gonna get unlimited money-making opportunities. And I had understood the power of that. Really, like, at some point it clicked to me, and that's what led me to making the decision of just closing down my agency. And again, like, I want to preface this, the agency model is an amazing business model. It truly is. The only difference between the agency model and the online coaching model, as I said, is it's done for you and done with you. There really isn't that much of a difference, right? And later on, I most definitely want to start a new agency around my personal brand. Now that I actually have the skill of knowing how to build a personal brand, I most definitely want to later create an agency that works around a personal brand so I can just get clients coming in, right? And that's what I had understood. I understood that the agency model was not a bad business model, but that there were so many tools out there for me to use and to master first, which is personal branding. Personal branding is the most powerful tool that you could use. Personal branding is not even a business model, because if you think about it, the business model is how you monetize your personal brand, but your personal brand itself is a digital asset, right? So the online business model that I'm pursuing is online coaching, but there's so many different ways that you can monetize it. You can monetize your personal brand by starting an agency around it. You can monetize your personal brand by starting an online coaching business around it. You could monetize your personal brand by selling software, by selling digital products. Really, there's so many different ways to monetize your personal brand, and even brand deals. Like, there's so many different ways to actually monetize your personal brand, but it all comes from this one digital asset, which is your personal brand. And the second I understood this, I understood that I was doing something very wrong. It's not strategic to cold call people, not in 2025. Okay, not anymore. It may have been before. And you know what? Maybe it might even work now. But why do that when there's so many more powerful tools that you could use that would literally speed run everything? And not only is personal branding an amazing tool, but it's pure leverage. It's leverage, and there's so many different side effects that come with it, right? The side effect of being more respectable, actually making networks, relationships, being able to hire people. Like, you don't even need a personal brand to just get clients. You can hire people, you can create connections, you can connect with other creators, you can actually build communities and get so many different opportunities coming your way. And the best thing about it is having a personal brand, you don't need to monetize it with one thing. You could monetize it in so many different ways and have multiple businesses around your personal brand. It's an ecosystem. And the second I had understood that, I understood that this is what I've wanted the whole time. I didn't care about having an agency. I was building my agency purely for money and then being able to eventually change lives from it. But why? If I have a skill, which is personal branding, why would I not already build a personal brand around it? Why would I not already change people's lives? The only thing that you truly need to start your personal brand is having a skill that people are willing to pay for. In fact, to start your personal brand, you don't even need a skill. You can document your way to actually learning that skill, and that's leverage. Because once you eventually, monetize and try to create a business around your personal brand, you will have the leverage of showing people the pure journey that you have to go through in order to learn this skill. And that journey is the exact same journey that your clients will be going through and that you will be helping them through, right? That's the power of a personal brand. And truly, like, this is what I had realized, which is the fact that, again, there's nothing wrong with starting an agency. There's just so many better ways to do it, right? Even if you want to start an agency, build a personal brand around it. Be the face of your agency, right? And there's so many creators out there who are doing that. There's so many influencers out there who are doing that. But again, the main goal here is not to be an influencer. The difference between me and my clients is that I actually do want to be an influencer. I want to make an impact. I want to make a big impact. But most of my clients, they really just want to build an online business around their personal brand, which is possible, right? Which is absolutely possible. And if I manage to close 5 clients in 7 days, I'd be helping my clients do a lot more than that. And really, this journey took such an unexpected turn. Really, I never would have thought that this is what was going to happen. But now that it has, the only logical choice is to take advantage of it. And that is why I closed down my agency. Temporarily, because I keep mentioning this, I'm more than happy to start a new agency or to recontinue that agency with a new foundation. But having my personal brand as the core client acquisition system for my agency, right? The issue is not the business model. The issue is the asset that you use and the system that you use for client acquisition. And personal branding is really that key. And I learned that. And now I am in the process of actually going all in on it. Really, I'm in the process of going all in on it. And I get that right now I'm trying to document my journey. Guys, I'm in school. I'm in school talking about, business. I'm talking about my dreams. And really, right now I'm just trying to document my journey. But later on, YouTube will also be a tool that I use to build my personal brand. Me documenting my journey right now on YouTube is building my personal brand, okay? And not only is it building a personal brand for my online business, but it's also to genuinely look back on it. It's also to genuinely look back on this journey that I'm on and seeing every single little stage of it. It's being able to genuinely express my feelings and my thoughts throughout this journey that I'm on, and being able to help others do the same. That is really the goal. As an agency owner, I'm just helping clinics get more money. And okay, you can talk about how I'm changing their lives, I'm changing their business, but I don't know if that's really the niche that I'm trying to help. Because at the end of the day, I've always known that the main group of people that I wanted to help was girls getting into business, helping them become financially independent. I'm 16. I'm working on this journey of trying to become financially independent, and I'm somewhat in the process of getting good results from it. Really, that's who I'm trying to impact. I'm trying to impact the new generation of girls who are lost, really. And, that may not be the case right now where I'm able to make a huge impact on the world, but that's why I'm documenting my journey. It's because I want to showcase the process of me doing that and the journey that I'm on to get to that position of actually being able to change lives. That's really the end goal here. And yeah, I've made this very scary decision of closing down my agency, but it's all purely from logic, right? It's being able to analyze what's working, what's not working, and then just doubling down. And I guess that applies for everything in business. It applies for the content that you make. This is what I teach my clients is you just gotta test out all kinds of content and be able to double down on the format that works, right? Being able to double down on that and obviously testing more. So really what it looks like is being able to throw different things at the wall, seeing what sticks, and then continuing to throw what stuck before, and then throwing new things, and then seeing, being able to analyze what worked best. It's the same thing with business models. I failed 4 businesses. It's insane. I failed 4 businesses. And, I may not be a fucking like trazillionaire right now, but personal branding is truly the one thing that has stuck the most for me so far, and it wouldn't make sense for me to not double down on it and to not take full advantage of it when I have the results, physical evidence in front of me. These are concrete results. This is concrete data that I have to understand. And I've understood the fact that personal branding is the most powerful tool and asset that you could build for not only your online coaching business, but for whatever business you want to build. Right? Whether you want to monetize it with digital products, whether you want to monetize it by offering a service, offering coaching, it really doesn't matter. The one thing that you really truly need in order to get concrete, consistent client inflow is to have a personal brand. Okay, and sure, you can talk about ads, because you can talk about ads, right? But the difference between ads is that you pay with your money, and if it doesn't perform well, it doesn't perform well. You lose your money, right? But with organic content, it is long-term, real, organic people, and the only thing that you lose is your effort, right? And with every single piece of effort that you put in, you learn from it. You genuinely put in the work into growing this long-term asset. Once you put in all the effort and it starts to accumulate up and you have a strong personal brand, you basically just have to keep posting content consistently. You're gonna keep getting results. But the second that you stop running your ads, it's over, right? Obviously it's the same thing with content, but having a personal brand not only within that factor brings in organic leads, but it quite literally, I guess I could say it's just unstoppable. Having a personal brand, it's just unstoppable. You have unlimited leads coming in. You have so many different positive side effects on your life, and you're truly putting yourself out there. And yeah, guys, that's really what it's about. That's what I've learned so far, and everything that I mentioned in this video is the reasonings as to why I made this decision of closing down my agency temporarily. Maybe I'll open it again in 2, 3 years, 5 years, who knows, right? The future will tell, but right now I'm really trying to focus and double down on the one thing that is clearly working for me, and being able to go all in on it and scaling it up. Obviously I'm still on this journey, but that's really the results that I am seeing, and it would not make sense for me to not take advantage of it. And so I want to show you guys my logo, because I have this as my screen, as my wallpaper for my computer, and it looks awesome. I call it the Founder Academy, and the main stage of it right now is being able to help them build a personal brand. Whoever is looking to build a personal brand, essentially what I'm doing with my online coaching business is helping them build a personal brand and helping them monetize it, right? So monetizing it specifically with online coaching, because with online coaching, you can actually charge a really high ticket. And obviously it's best for client results because you're actually working with them one-on-one, you're holding them accountable, and it's not a lot of extra work, right? And that's really the main process that I am helping people with. Obviously there's different ways to monetize it, but online coaching really is the best way to do so, because with digital products you can't really charge that high ticket, and I guess that's something that you could start off with. And another concept that I had learned as well is that instead of just offering online coaching and offering digital products alone, the one thing that I preach and teach and apply for myself is we compile that up and call it a hybrid coaching offer. So being able to offer a digital product and coaching. So essentially it's a service, because even if it's done with you, coaching is a service. It's a service and a product packaged up together. You have an amazing offer, sell that. And you're able to charge high ticket for it. And that's what I did. And I'm helping other people do the same. This is really it's the past 3 months have been very, very overwhelming and have been very life-changing as well, truly. And I see a super long-term vision with this new opportunity that I'm pursuing. And again, like, obviously in the process of that, being able to document my journey, being able to provide value, that's really the end goal. It's not just making money. I truly want to make an impact, and that's why I'm documenting my journey as I get there. And obviously being able to coach my clients. But yeah, guys, like that's the video that I have for today. You know, I'm still in school, working on this and just trying to make it work, really. But anyways, I appreciate you watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.